I want to tell you a story. People have asked me, how did you get involved in prospecting and, be as passionate as you are? And I remember I was 11 years old, and my dad said to me, he said, get in the car. And we had a 1965 four-door Comet. It was white and mostly rust. Kind of looked like a Jersey cow, actually. And we got in the car. And I said, where are we going? And he said to me, he goes, you'll see. And so we're driving through the town of Grand Forks from nursery where we lived. And we got on the far side of town. And I said, where are we going? And he said, you'll see. And then we drove up Spencer Hill, and we got to the top of Spencer Hill, and I was just really enjoying being with my dad that day. And I remember we got to the top of the hill, and we turned off the road to the left, and we started going down this dirt road. And we're in a car, and this is a dirt road with big boulders in it, and I remember thinking to myself, Dad must be nuts. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. And then we turned at the bottom of the hill, we crossed this creek and we turned onto another road, and it was even worse than the road we had just come down. And I'm like, where are we going? And he said, you'll see. And so then finally we got to the end of this road, and there were 3 big trucks parked there, and they had a bunch of equipment in the back, and I didn't know what all the stuff was in the back of the equipment, or in the back of the trucks. And then he opens the trunk and he hands a rusty old gold pan to me. And then right then and there I knew where we were going. And I don't remember if I had said I was interested in gold, or, why Dad took me panning that day. But what happened was, we went up the creek a little ways, and Dad introduced me to the 3 old timers that were up there. And it was just mind-boggling to me, because up on this hillside there was just this immense amount of boulders that these guys had moved, and the amount of dirt. And it was all done by hand, you could tell, because there's no roads in it. It was just a little walking trail. And for my little 11-year-old brain, I couldn't quite fathom it. So Dad talked to these guys for just a little bit, and then we went down to the very far end of the diggings, and where no one else was, and he showed me how to pan for gold. And what we did is we got down on our hands and knees, and he showed me the little bedrock cracks, and he said the gold hides out in here, and he showed me this stuff called pea growl. I didn't know what it was, and I was just listening to what my dad said, and I trusted it, and we dug up our first pan of gold. And then I went down to the creek, and I was really excited. I'd never been gold panning before. And got down, and one of the things Dad said to me, he says, well, if you're going to find gold, you got to get wet. So I remember sitting on this rock and putting my feet in the water, and it was really cold, but I didn't really care. I was just, I was with my dad and doing something that it excited me. And so I remember it took me probably 20 minutes or half an hour to get down to where there was just a little bit of material in the pan, and Dad was really patient with me. And, he didn't try and rush me, or didn't try and show me how to do it. And I remember he just let me kind of do my own thing. And then I got down to where there was just a little bit of material in the pan, and I was a little scared to go any further. I was a little unsure at that point. So I said, well, here, you show me how to do the rest. And I handed him the pan, and I remember he swirled it around, and in that pan there were 5 little gold nuggets. And I'm an 11-year-old kid, and these little gold nuggets, they were probably the size of match heads, which for a lot of people is really actually big, but for this 11-year-old kid, they seemed like baseballs, man. They were like these huge, brilliant yellow flakes of precious metal, and I was just so excited. I just looked at them. I remember feeling something that I'd never felt before. And if you've never experienced panning gold, or if you have, you'll remember that time where you found that flake or that piece of gold. There's something that happens, and in that moment it changed my life. And so, as a lot of you guys know, I've gone on to, I own a couple of pawn shops, and I own goldbay.com, Other Load Gold, and I've made gold my hobby, my passion, as my livelihood and my way to make a living. And you know, I have other people that are relying on my passion for gold, and they partnered with me, and surrounded myself with people that are knowledgeable, and it's just been a phenomenal journey that started when I was 11 years old, and I just can't thank my dad enough. So Dad, on this video right here, I just want to say thank you again and again and again. And you know, this 11-year-old kid is now 53 years old, and I'm walking around right now. It's June 3rd, 2017, and you know, you can see some stuff behind me. It's like really sunny and hot, and you know, you might notice that the soil behind me is a little bit red, and you know, there's not a lot of pine trees behind me, because that's because I'm not where I live up in Spokane or up in the Idaho area. And I'm actually walking down a road right now on a gold mine that I bought. And I bought this mine with a friend of mine, Tony, from Australia. Tony and I have known each other for probably 15 or 18 years. I'm not sure exactly how long, but we have been able to come together and purchase a gold mine here in California. I'm kind of walking to the north end right now of the mine, and I'm going to turn around in a little bit so you can see we got just a little bit of an open cut on the north end, but I'm walking right now on about a 20-foot wide seam of quartz. So I'm just going to turn around so you can see behind me there's an open pit. And the open pit is really, there's some soil and dirt and overburden, of course, on top of literally what is the quartz vein that's approximately 20 feet wide. And this mine is in Mariposa, California, or in the area. You know, we're in the Motherlode country. Kind of ironic that I own motherlodegold.com. And I'm going to walk up this way a little bit to the house, and then I'll turn around as well. This mine is fully operational. It is not been mined for quite a few years, but this mine produces the most beautiful gold on the planet. It produces crystallized gold. And this mine is well known for having produced some of the nicest, most beautiful, rarest gold specimens on the planet. And so, like I said, I'm 53 years old right now. And this really is the dream of an 11-year-old kid fulfilled. It is a little surreal to think about that I now own, with my partner Tony, we own the Colorado Quartz Gold Mine. And for a lot of collectors and for people that know the mining history of California, you know, we're right next to the Mockingbird Mine, which is another mine that's well known for crystallized gold. And it's almost hard to believe that, you know, I've taken a dream and what happened, you know, those 40 some odd years ago, and turned it into a reality where I'm standing on literally the mine that's known for the most beautiful crystallized gold. So in the winter of 2017, August 27th, I'm actually going to move down here from Spokane. I'm going to winter in Mariposa. I'm going to come down and work the mine and learn underground mining and metal detecting. And you know, I've done lots of metal detecting, but not in hard rock. And I'm walking past the house right now, which is, it's a 3-bedroom miner shack. It's, for me, it's beautiful. Like you can see, it needs a paint job, but to me, it's just the most beautiful sight. I'm going to come over here to the edge of the house, and then I'm going to turn around as well so you can see the head shaft behind me. The mine is 140 feet deep, approximately. There are 3 different levels where there are drifts into the quartz, and in between the contact zone between the shale and the quartz, you can see the head rig. So it's 140 feet down, going up and down ladders every day, and then whatever level we decide to work on, the 100-foot level, 120, 140. Right now there's 60 feet of water at least in the mine. That has to get pumped out, but I'm going to start on an adventure this August that just, you know, I say I'm going to find one of the most beautiful pieces of specimen gold ever found on the planet. In fact, I'm here this weekend just to kind of see what I need to bring to the mine, and it's kind of cool. I have internet up here, and so we'll be doing some video blogging during the mining, opening up of the mine. And you know, I'm going to do some metal detecting today. There's some tailing piles from, you know, diggings from years and years ago. This mine's been around since the 1850s. So I hope you follow the story and the reopening of the mine and whatever we discover and find. I'm really excited about sharing this with everybody, and you know, maybe there's some 11-year-old kid out there that'll watch one of these videos and say, hey, that's something that really I'm excited about too. Talk to you soon.